Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Ultra League, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Pidgeot! Pidgeot on team number 5 from my top 5 best teams for the Ultra League. Pidgeot, a very interesting Pokemon. It definitely has a place in this meta, but it's quite awkward to use, I will admit. But once you get the hang of it, you definitely need some practice with it. But once you do, it can be quite effective. And also on team number 5, quickly becoming my favorite Pokemon to run in the Ultra League, none other than good old Cobalion on the safe swap. Not only is Cobalion an amazing lead and closer, but there doesn't seem to be anything that this Pokemon cannot do in the Ultra League. It's also an amazing safe swap. Would you believe that, guys? This thing is the real deal. Amazing. One of the best investments I've made. And also on team number 5, Regirock in the back to close the game strong. Now, you could run Pidgeot and Cobalion with another fighter. I have seen it with Virizion. I've also seen it with Scrafty, but I like Regirock because it covers both ice and fire, making it quite effective on team number 5. And before we dive into the featured set of the video, we're starting things off with some bonus battles that I thought were tons of fun. Here we go, Swampert lead. This is a positive lead for Pidgeot. You will have to shield the first Hydro Cannon because that's going to do the most damage, because the way you're going to play this is you are going to debuff this thing into oblivion, guys. Once you get this first Feather Dance off, you don't have to shield a thing thereafter. You're going to have to throw another Feather Dance as you cannot farm down from this health range. But their fast move pressure is virtually non-existent. They are doing no damage in terms of fast move pressure from these mud shots. And we're going to go for another Feather Dance here. And now you just farm this thing all the way down. They usually stay in and lose lead like this. Seeing that what they think to be an early shield advantage, but the way you play this, the perfect way to play it, tank all these debuffed Hydro Cannons, you farm down, you will almost assuredly get that shield right back, and you guys are about to find out. Whatever they come in with is getting blasted with a Brave Bird. This is what can make Pidgeot so effective, that debuff factor and that big damage factor. We grab the shield and we are out of there into our Cobalion, and they've got a Talonflame in the back. This is why I prefer Regirock on team number 5, guys, rather than a second fighter. And please don't bait here, especially when when they only have one shield, because they almost always call the bait successfully, at least in my experience. You do tank a non-boosted Flame Charge, and now we go for the Stone Edge here. And they will shield the second one as well. But we've got a Regirock, and it is all but over for the remainder of this team. Regirock's about to put in work, and they know that as they do promptly top left. Good game, well played to our opponent. Team number 5 from my top 5 best teams for the Ultra League. Definitely took some practice, but once I got the hang of it, it was smooth sailing. And here we go, Tapu Fini. Often, with a Tapu Fini lead, you can almost always bet the house that there is definitely a Talonflame in the back, and generally a Registeel. Here it is, right on cue, the Talonflame again, which is why for team number 5, when I built this team, I chose Regirock. For all of the fire flying types lurking in the back, Regirock is absolutely going to feast on this Talonflame. This is where the double fighter behind Pidgeot kind of falls flat. You have a worse chance of pulling out the victory with a second fighter in the back, especially if that fighter comes in the form of Virizion. So they do let their Talonflame go down. Going to come back in with their Tapu Fini, and Regirock can absolutely put in work, although it is at a type disadvantage here. These Stone Edges with Stab hit pretty darn hard from Regirock, and they will look to farm us down. But that is fine. I am fully expecting a Registeel in the back. I could see it from a mile away, guys. Probably the most commonly used team by now in the Ultra League. It's been around for a couple of seasons now. We did let that first surf go through, and we will shield the second one to really load up on energy. The play here is to debuff that Registeel into oblivion. We're going to look to quadruple debuff this Reggie's attack, which will set up our Cobalion for the most success here, guys. You're going to... Oh my goodness. I didn't include the battle in the video, but we double feather danced a Poliwrath and had our Regirock left with no shields. The Poliwrath had 2, and that thing could do nothing to Regirock. That's the power of Pidgeot, but I digress, guys. We have our Cobalion here on this quadruple debuffed Registeel, and that Focus Blast did laughable damage to our Cobalion, and we are now drawing shields from the Registeel. I am fully anticipating that them swapping to clear the debuff into that low health Tapu Fini, but it's not going to help them, guys, whatsoever. We're farming down and loading up on even more energy. This poor Registeel does not have a prayer. They can throw Zap Cannon all they want, debuff our attack. It will not help them. Hats off to them. They are absolutely playing to their win condition, but they are just outmatched here with good old Cobalion in the back on team number 5. You love to see it. We get to this second Sacred Sword, and although debuffed, we are saying bye-bye to the Registeel, and that is how you beat the most commonly used team in the Ultra League. Good game, well played. Oh, I'm telling you guys, team number 5 for my top 5 best teams absolutely puts in the work. Pidgeot just forces Pokemon to swap out. It's so amazing to see. And here we go. We had Drapion, Shadow on the lead. That's a neutral lead, so we swap into our safe swap Cobalion to draw out something like this. It comes in the form of Trevenant. You will generally draw out a Trevenant if they do have it in the back, because they don't want that anywhere near the Pidgeot, which will set up Regirock to shine in the end game. That's how this team is designed, and it's working to perfection. They don't want to get hit by another Stone Edge or give up a shield, so they're going to throw their energy. Either one works. That is absolutely fine, because you know what we're doing, guys? We are farming this thing all the way down to Funky Town. They can throw whatever they want at this Pidgeot. It will not matter whatsoever. We're farming this thing all the way down and absolutely loading. They see what we're trying to do. They were not here for that, but we had another answer to a poison type in the form of our rock type Regirock. Although they can fight back with neutral crunches with stab that hit pretty hard coming from a Shadow. And this is kind of where I do like the Legacy Earthquake. It's a lot faster to get to than Focus Blast, so a lot of trainers will think that you're just throwing that neutral Stone Edge, but all the while you're doing big, super effective damage, nearly one-shotting. Oh, you love to see it. I do like the Legacy EQ on Reggie. It kind of throws them off a bit, and it does plenty of heavy neutral damage, and you still retain that steel coverage. We're going for it again, and they're not shielding their team whatsoever. That is fine by us. They can take all the massive damage they want. It will only help us in the end. And see, that's what I mean about Pidgeot, guys. You force them to swap, often giving you even more energy. That's the power of Pidgeot. Like I said, it's a bit awkward to get the hang of, but once you get enough practice with it and learn the matchups, it can be quite the force to be reckoned with in the Ultra League. And now it is smooth sailing from here. They tanked that big EQ from us. We had both of our shields. All we have to do, guys, is shield up these Hydro Cannons. Doesn't even matter if they're debuffed. We just shield and farm down here. I'm going to throw this Feather Dance. It does not matter. They are thoroughly debuffed. And they do let it go, waving the white flag. Even though they had a shield, they recognized it was over. Good game, well played to our opponent. Pidgeot on team number 5 was quite impressive, I will say. Once you get the hang of it, it can be quite effective. And here we go. Dragon Breath, Giratina. I don't stay in here. I don't play the Feather Dance game. This could be an ancient power, and it is, but we know that we tank it, and we are going to go for the Brave Bird and retreat. That's what I do on the Dragon Breath Giratina because it is a lead loss. And they do usually let it go. They take that big damage, and we are out of here into our Cobalion. Cobalion actually does quite well against Dragon Breath Giratina, especially when they have 0 steel coverage. And they've got a Cresselia in the bag. Any steel lead for this opponent here, they are absolutely crying. They have 0 steel coverage thus far, holy smokes. But we're going to look to actually flip switch here. Not sure what else they could have in the back. It could be a Talonflame. It could also be a Walrein. So with that in mind, we kind of want to control the alignment here against our opponent. So we have to play carefully and throw with optimal timing if we are going to do what we want to do here. This is another Moonblast, so we will have to shield this if we're going to look to flip switch. Cobalion can flip switch against Cresselia if they want to hold on to their shields. It does have a solid victory in the 1-0 shield. And we know that this is just another Grass Knot. We do tank that because we are super tanky, guys. This is what makes Cobalion so effective. It can hang with the best of them. And they are not giving up any shields. So we will throw this Resisted Sacred Sword, and it's just about enough to say bye-bye to the Cresselia, and just like that, Cobalion has flipped switch. You'd love to see it. So now we're going to align our Regirock onto this Giratina here. Still not sure what they have in the back. Our Pidgeot's health is quite compromised. But we're thinking we have a good shot here as Regirock spams off heavy damage charge moves as if they are bait moves. It is quite fascinating. We're going for that Stone Edge, and we're taking out the Giratina. And not the Talonflame I thought. It's a different fire flying type. Comes in the form of the newly buffed Charizard, guys. You're seeing a lot more of these pop up with the wing attack buff. And we're going to catch this because a lot of these Charizard traders, no disrespect, can be a bit delusional. They often have the audacity to stay in matchups that they know they have no business staying in. And that's what we're seeing here. So we had to flex a little, catch that Blast Burn on our Pidgeot. You'd love to see it. And gonna go for the Stone Edge here, and they think that they still have a shot. They do not, guys. All we have to do is shield up this Dragon Claw, and it will be lights out for our friend Charizard here. We get to this Stone Edge, we're charging it up, and we're saying bye-bye to the delusional Charizard. You'd love to see it. Regirock putting in the work, down a shield. That's gonna be a good game. Well played. Oh, those bonus battles were a lot of fun, but we now move into the featured set of the video. We're picking up an awful lead. It comes in the form of Walrein going into our safe swap Cobalion, and they meet us with a Swampert. So this is okay. It all depends on whether you can successfully call the Hydro Cannon or EQ. It's a coin flip. From my experience, it's literally 50-50 as to whether they go right for the EQ or they bait with the Hydro Cannon. At this point, we had been seeing them go straight for the EQ, so we actually shield out of caution here because we do want to control the alignment. It was just a Hydro Cannon bait, and we are going for another Sacred Sword here. And they do shield. We now have both of their shields, and we just need one more Sacred Sword to flip the switch here. At this point, I'm thinking they're just going to go straight Hydro Cannon, and I was correct. That is a Hydro Cannon. We lived that, but Swampert, as spammy as any Pokemon I've ever seen, gets to yet another Hydro Cannon. So we will shield this. Shields are down. We throw one more double kick, and then we go for the Sacred Sword just to ensure that we could perhaps get to a Stone Edge for whatever comes back in, if necessary. It's a Gliscor, and I think that one double kick before we throw is going to come in handy because we get to the Stone Edge. Holy smokes. Cobalion, so clutch. You'd love to see it. We're doing big damage, and we are out of there. They do take us out with a wing attack. They aggro swap back into the Walrein, and it is Regirock time. They are at a potential EQ. It is definitely an EQ, but as we can see, Regirock, every bit as bulky as its steel counterpart. Registeel, you'll love to see it. We go for the Stone Edge. It doesn't quite KO, and they will need to land another EQ to KO, guys. I'm telling you, Regirock, tanky, guys, just like Registeel. It's every bit as tanky. This is just a Icicle Spear. Not going to cut it, guys. We get to this Stone Edge yet again. And my goodness, Regirock was every bit as clutch as everything else. We're saying bye-bye to the Walrein. And now it is looking to be smooth sailing from here. And the reason why is there aren't enough non-stab Night Slashes in the world to allow this Gliscor to take us out before we get to a Brave Bird. They are just drawing out the inevitable at this point. I don't know what they're doing still in this matchup. I guess they want to truly know that they don't have a chance, and we will let them know. We're saying bye-bye to the Gliscor, and we're closing it out with Pidgeot. That's going to be yet another good game. Well played. Oh, team number 5 was really putting in the work. It was quite nice to see, especially when you get a lead like this. Holy smokes. XL CORBREAKS. This is about as positive of a lead as you can see. They aggro swap into a Tapu Fini, so what we're going to look to do is Brave Bird and retreat. Either do big damage or grab a shield. They take the damage, and we are out of there into our Cobalion. That was enough massive damage to allow Cobalion to easily take out this Tapu Fini, no problem. And that will prove to be quite beneficial, as Tapu Fini's a nightmare for our Registeel in the back. It is quite difficult to deal with because it's quite bulky and can get to those surfs pretty fast. We take it out with a Stone Edge, and we do still have a nice amount of health to still put in some work here up against this CORBREAKS. We get to yet another Stone Edge. Cobalion is just amazing. They tank that because they are quite bulky, and they make an aggressive play into a Talonflame. The switch timer is not up, and we're not quite going to make it to that Stone Edge, so any damage is better than no damage. That's what I always say. And now it is looking pretty good here. This is why we've got Regirock on team number 5 in the back for these Talonflames, Charizards, and Walreins. Like I said, if you had another fighter in the back, it would be pretty difficult to overcome a Talonflame in the back. But as we can see here, Regirock is in cruise control up against this Talonflame, and they are actually shielding, which is quite insane to see. I don't know. A lot of these... a lot of the traders in the Ultra League are so aggressive and arguably quite delusional, as they are actually shielding this Talonflame. I was flabbergasted to see this. So we'll actually shield because we know that all we have left is that CORBREAKS in the back. Gonna throw in between their Incinerate, not allowing them to catch our move, and now it is lights out for them. And they realize that as they do top left. I had a feeling they wanted to try and catch to give themselves a shot, but that's what makes Regirock so effective. It's quite spammy, hard to time. Good game, well played. Yeah, guys, when I was building team number 5 for my top 5 best teams, I was really planning for Talonflame with Reggie in the back. And here we go. Speaking of Talonflame, we've got it on the lead here. We can do quite all right here. We do reach our moves at the same time. So going to go for the Feather Dance here and then try to catch their Flame Charge. But no, we both simul swap, and my goodness, I was not expecting this. They do have a Walrein in the back, and Regirock can do quite well here. So we're just going to play on. They do still have energy on that Talonflame, as they did not throw their move. And as we know from that previous battle, we do definitely tank an EQ. Does a little bit more because they did get some Powder Snow damage in, but we're going to look to put this thing out of its misery and go for the Stone Edge. They do let that go, and now we are still even on shields here. Not sure what else they could have in the back. It would be absolutely insane to come in with that Talonflame. It's a Trevenant, so Gonna go for the Stone Edge here. Trevenant can definitely tank this. It's not fun. It does about half health, but they do tank it. And I do imagine they go for the farm down. So now what we're going to look to do is come back in with our Pidgeot, and we aggro swap into our Cobalion. So this is where that simul swap is going to really come back to bite us. Oh, had I known what they were running. That's the thing with Ultra League. It's so unpredictable. People just run what they have, making it super difficult to pinpoint and get a good handle on. And we overtap. Oh, what a train wreck this one was. Oh my gosh, that was awful. I was beyond tilted, guys. You want to talk nuclear levels of molding? That was me when I overtapped, because that was basically it. And that's another thing about the Ultra League. You have such a small, thin margin of error in this league that one tiny little mistake like that can make or break a game. And now they're just going to BM us and take us out with their Trevenant. There is nothing more demoralizing than something like this. Oh my gosh, it's so painful to watch this back. Should have just topped left. Yeah, it's not going to happen. They're going to actually take us out with a Seed Bomb. Holy smokes. One mistake can cost you the match. It's why you got to play near perfect in the Ultra League. Good game, well played. Oh, we fell hard on our face in that last one. My goodness. If you want to know how to throw a match, watch that one. Here we go. Venusaur, positive lead for us. They make a play in the Obstagoon, and this is where Cobalion can absolutely shine. They are doing super effective damage, but we're bulky, guys, and we tank their counters no problem. And that Sacred Sword did a metric ton of damage. It's double super effective, and now all we need is one more double kick. It did register, and we leave this mid-game matchup relatively healthy. This is why Cobalion's so effective. Its stat product and its typing is just what really makes this thing work, along with its coverage. It has amazing coverage. It has the same coverage as Machamp. It just has better stats and a better typing. Which is why Cobalion's so darn good. We go for the Stone Edge. They can definitely tank one, and we will force them to throw. They have to throw if they don't want to give up a shield or tank another Stone Edge, and that is exactly what they do here. So now, obviously, going to align our Pidgeot onto the Venusaur, and oh, they got a Charizard in the back. This is just about lights out. This Charizard can do nothing to Regirock. Again, guys, why I chose to go Regirock when I built team number 5. Can you imagine having a second flyer? Oh, it would have been awful, but we do take that one. Good game, well played. Guys, if you've been struggling with the Pidgeot double fighter line, definitely try this with Regirock. It core breaks a lot, and here we go. Walrein lead, we go into our save swap Cobalion to draw out the potential Trevenant, and that is exactly what we are seeing play out right here. And of course, you just go for the Stone Edges. You don't really want to get into the minutia of trying to bait the Trevenant. It's not flippable. Your odds of flipping it are quite low. So it's best just to get the damage or the shields with the Stone Edge. So that is exactly how we play it, and they usually throw because they don't want to get KO'd or give up a shield. So that's exactly how it usually plays out. Allowing Pidgeot, either way works, guys, because Pidgeot's still going to come in and farm down the Funky Town. That's the beauty of the dynamics of team number 5 here. We are farming this thing all the way down. They can throw all the resisted moves they want. It will not make a difference because we will leave this matchup with loaded energy to threaten the Walrein that comes back in, and that is exactly what we see here. Going for the big Brave Bird, going to either do big damage or grab a shield. They take the damage, and we are out of there into our Regirock, and this is why team number 5 works a lot better than the conventional double fighter line. We see them wave the white flag there. Regirock core broke that team pretty hard. Once you clear the Trevenant, Regirock usually shines in the end. And that is the team, my friends. Good game. Well played to our opponent. And my goodness, team number 5 was quite effective. From my top 5 best teams for the Ultra League. It was putting in the work. It took me a little bit of time, longer than usual to get the hang of Pidgeot in the Ultra League. But once I got the hang of it, it was smooth sailing, guys. It does take practice, but once you can master the play style of how you should correctly play Pidgeot and you learn the matchups, it can be quite effective. Just having the option of doing big, massive damage or debuffing, forcing them to swap, it can prove to be quite lethal. Pidgeot was a lot of fun, but guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.